I'm Danny Barnts from the CCAA, and I'm joined today by head coach Andy Newman with the State San Bernardino men's basketball team. Coach Newman, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Danny. This is great. Looking forward to our time together.
Well, let's just give a little quick update on the Yotes. You guys are right now 5-1 on the season. You haven't played any CCAA games yet, but those ones are on tap for this weekend on the 1st and the 3rd. So I just want to hear a little bit about kind of your preseason so far. You guys, let's be honest to each other, have been ranked in the top 25 and the top 10 the whole year. So what have you learned from your team to this point, Coach, through the first 6 games of the year? What have you learned about your team?
Yeah, it's a good question, Danny. You know, we're obviously still learning a lot every day, but one thing I think a little unexpected is just how well we can score the ball. You know, going out to Hawaii was great for us. Just to play those high caliber teams and to be able to score like we did out there against them, you know, put up 100 points on Chaminade and then to score over 50 points and a half against Biola. Those are good defensive teams that we were able to really kind of get our transition going, get our penetration stuff going, and really score a lot more than I thought we were going to be able to do. So I think this team is unique in the fact that they can really score the ball, really score it in a lot of different ways. And I think we're going to be, again, one of the top in the league in scoring again this year.
You make a comment on that one of being the top in the league again this year. But I think one of the unique things is you guys do have 3 new starters on the team, correct?
We do. Yeah, we do. Dontrell Schuler, obviously coming over from Middle Tennessee State. He's starting at the 2 guard for us. And then Mahmoud Fufana from West Valley Junior College starting at the 4 for us. And then Robbie Robinson starting at the 5 for us as well. So 3 new guys. But again, you know, Danny, through the recruiting process, one of the allures to coming to State San Bernardino is that we do play fast and, you know, we do give guys opportunities to score in transition. And I think us recruiting to that and those guys really knowing that coming into it has really helped them kind of solidify their spots in the starting lineup. And those 3 guys are really a big part of our early success for sure.
Well, you talked about the scoring has continued from last year. Another part that has really been kind of, I feel like, one of the staples at San Bernardino, especially under you, is the rebounding. You guys lost Jennings, who, let's be honest, Dayton Jennings was a beast down there. You guys have other ones, but you guys are out rebounding people by 13.5 rebounds per game. Just what is helping that happen? That's an amazing number.
Well, you know, they say things about head coaches like, you know, what we were deficient in as players, that's what we like to coach. So obviously being 5'10" on a good day and could barely touch the bottom of the net myself. Coaching rebounding is fun. It's a part of the game I never really got to do as a player. So I think it's for us, it's always been kind of a mentality. And as I kind of grew through my coaching career, there were a couple of things that my mentors really pushed on to me that were the reasons they had success. And obviously, I think one of the reasons why we have success is because of that rebounding margin that we've been able to do. And so I've kind of bought into that as a coach, and we've been very fortunate that our players have bought into it on their end as well. And so it's something that we talk about every day and we coach every day, and we put our minds to, and obviously it's been a big part of our success so far. And I think it'll be a big part of our success moving forward too.
Fantastic. So we have a chance to talk there. Obviously, you guys are a good scoring team, very good rebounding team. We can look at the box score. We can look at the stats and find those numbers. But what is the strength of the Yotes that I don't get from just looking at the box score or something like that? Coach, what do you feel is one of the strengths of your team?
I think our defensive mindset is something that goes unnoticed. Our guys talk about it. It's the number one thing that they, you know, we talk about as a staff, but it really comes from them, comes from the players. And they have a very serious mindset on, you know, being able to defend and not let their opponents score. So we have a defensive pride in our program that doesn't really show up all the time, because it's overshadowed by those other two things, because we score so well, because we have guys that can really shoot it and look so good on the offensive end, and because we out rebound guys by such a large margin. The defensive pride really kind of goes unnoticed, but it is a big piece of what we talk about. It's a big piece of the pride in Cal State San Bernardino, is just that defensive end being able to, stand across from a guy and not let him score is a big piece of our program that doesn't necessarily show up in the box score at the end of the game.
I agree with you, but I do got to drop this little bit of knowledge. You guys are right now leading the conference in 3-point percentage defense as well. So I'm just trying to say that's a good, when you're a top scoring team and you're limiting the other team from getting the extra points, that's probably a pretty good combination in there. So I got a couple questions, and this is ones looking forward throughout the year. So let's say somebody from the GNAC is scouting you guys out in February, mid-February, they're looking at your team. What do you want them to say the identity of your team is?
Well, I hope they're going to say it's based on defensive rebounding, but I know after watching us play these first 6 games, they're going to say, hey, they've got maybe one of the best backcourts in the country with Brandon Napper and Dontrell Schuler. And those two guys are really hard to stop scoring. And I think that's what comes out when guys look at us. And so I think if you're a team looking, towards that regional, and if we're fortunate enough to be in it, and they're looking at what that first round matchup's going to look like, I think they're going to look at us and go, gosh, how are we going to stop those two guards from scoring? And how are we going to keep these guys off the boards? I think that's what they'll say. But hopefully, again, as we progress through the year, what we'll see is a more balanced attack with getting scoring from guys like Darius Mickens, Eddie Davis, Mahmoud Fofana, and Robbie Robinson, and really kind of making it so that we're not just one-dimensional, but we've got 5 guys on the floor that can score at any time. So that's hopefully where we'll be in February. That's not where we are right now, but hopefully that's where we'll be in February, March, coming into the NCAA tournament.
So you maybe mentioned this. I'm just going to ask the question, even though you probably touched on it a little bit. Your first conference game will be December 1st. Let's be 100% honest. You want to be better on March 1st than you are on December 1st. There's no doubt about that. What would be some things you feel you need to improve with your team in those 3 months that you feel would set you best up to be best set for postseason?
Well, as crazy as this might sound, having heard that deal, I think we need to get better at blocking out and rebounding on the defensive end. There's just watching us, we're still not 100% on that, like we need to be, and like we should be, and what we strive to be. So I think there's some real areas of improvement there. And then I think, when you have a team of such talented guys, offensively, getting them to share the ball and buy into that offensive concept of making 2 guys guard you and getting it to an open teammate. That's something that will always be a challenge for us, but it will be a challenge for this team specifically because we are so talented at every position. So I think that'll be in March. That's going to be our goal, that we're rebounding a little bit better on the defensive end. And that we're sharing the ball.
Thank you. Final question here. You don't have to give me everything. You don't have to open up what's talked about in the locker room or anything like that. But what are some goals or some things you hope to accomplish during this CCAA season before you hit the tournament, possibly in March?
Well, our goals are obviously threefold. We want to win the CC2A championship. That's something we talk about in our locker room all the time. So that starts this Thursday against a very good San Francisco State team. So that's the first one. The second one is, we want to win the Western Regional. So if you've won the CC2A, then you've put yourself in position to win the Western Regional. And then if you win the Western Regional, then you put yourself in position to win and compete against the nation's best teams and play for a national championship. So those are our 3 goals. We've talked about them from the beginning, and those are staples in our locker room and from our staff all the way down to our players and to our managers. Those are the 3 goals that Cal State San Bernardino has this year, and hopefully we're moving towards that end.
Well, fantastic. As you mentioned right there, your very first game will be this coming Thursday against San Francisco State. Very tough one. And then you guys will be also facing Monterey Bay. So the season kicks off right away. You got some tough ones coming up. But Coach, we just thank you very much for just taking a couple minutes and sharing a little insight into the Yotes men's basketball program.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Danny. And obviously, it's a pleasure to be part of this league, not just from a coach's standpoint. The coaches in the CC2A are incredible, very good, very talented, run great programs. This is an incredibly tough league from a basketball standpoint, but then also to the administration, what you guys do, you and Mitch, and promoting the league and doing what you do. It's very nice to be part of a first-class league and program, and what you guys are doing is much appreciated. So thank you.